Back at the Charles River, we move now to the varsity 4 race between Radcliffe, Michigan State, and Boston College. Bill Spalding, glad to be with you here on the Ivy League Digital Network. This is one of those NCAA level races, so expect a tight race between Radcliffe, Michigan State, and Boston College. Yesterday, Michigan State won all of its fours races. They won a V4A, a V4B, and a V4C when they took on UMass, Northeastern, and Boston University. Here are the lineups. We'll start with Radcliffe. It's varsity 4. Looks like this. The sophomore Katie Felsheim is the coxswain. Sophomore Catherine Joyce is in the stroke seat. Haley Novus, a junior, in seat 3. Junior Kathleen Malik in seat 2. And Abba Parker is the bow for Radcliffe. Boston College will be in the middle of your picture. So the lineup for the Eagles in its V4 looks like this. Coxswain Danielle Eng, stroke. Alyssa Dunnington. Caroline Hart in seat 3. Seat 2 belongs to Jacqueline McDonald. And the bow is Allison May. For Michigan State, V4 boat is coxswained by Megan Lindsay. Stroke is Adrian Kolweck. In seat 3, Claire Sutka. Seat 2, Cassidy Higgins. And the bow is Maya Regalado. Again, conditions still perfect. The wind really has not picked up at all since the start of the day. Water is basically flat. Far cry from a couple of weeks ago, our first weekend of the year here on the Charles, when we had some white caps throughout the course of that Saturday racing. Boat still getting aligned, working with the stakes. Our third of 5 races today coming up at 8:30. We'll have the second varsity race, and we'll cap off our coverage at 8:50 with the first varsity race between Radcliffe, Boston College, and Michigan State. Radcliffe at the bottom of your picture, Boston College in the middle. Top of your picture is Michigan State. We have alignment. And here we go. Varsity 4 race underway. It's a race that will be competed at the conference championship at NCAA level. Again, those Ivy championships come your way in 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today, we'll have all the coverage for you from down in New Jersey on the Ivy League Digital Network. Michigan State, of course, will compete in the Big Ten championships, and Boston College will compete in the ACC championships. Another good start for Radcliffe. They've won both of the first 2 races today, the V4B and the third varsity 8. And out of this chute, they've already taken a couple of seats from Michigan State, and they have a full length on Boston College. Second race of the weekend for all these teams, and Radcliffe so far looks like they've physically bounced back the best as they have dominated races 1 and 2. Michigan State keeping contact here in the third race of the day, but it's a 3-seat lead for Radcliffe in the early going. Radcliffe stroked by a sophomore, Catherine Joyce. No seniors outside of the bow, Abba Parker, in this group, so 1 senior, 2 sophomores, 2 juniors, if you include the coxswain Katie Felsheim in this group of 5 for Radcliffe. Michigan State starting to walk its way back up, and they've gained a couple of seats back on Radcliffe. They're just 1 seat behind. Stroked by Adrian Kolweck in the Michigan State boat. Open water now back to Boston College. Well, now we're on level footing. This is a good recovery by Michigan State after Radcliffe took 3 seats early. Michigan State's come back through the first 500 meters, 1:40 seconds in. Unofficially, we are all even. Neck and neck between Radcliffe and Michigan State, with Boston College back in third. Now, sometimes you'll see in the 4s, we saw it throughout the races we covered yesterday, that it's a race that will have a little bit more ebbing and flowing than the 8s. You'll see one team make a move, the other team come back, and part of that is just it takes maybe an extra minute to get down the 2,000-meter course, and some of that is when there's 4 instead of 8, the effort expended is so extreme. Michigan State has taken over the lead now by 3 seats. So they've come from 3 seats down to 3 seats up. We'll see if Radcliffe has an answer here in the middle 500 or middle 1,000 meters. Straight duck cutting between the Radcliffe and Michigan State boats. Gets away unscathed as Michigan State still has a 3-seat lead, and now the Spartans are stretching it out to a 4-seat lead. Radcliffe in second, Boston College back in third. And Michigan State and Radcliffe stroking basically in unison right now. If you watch the rate, maybe a slight tick on the stroke rate going the way of Michigan State, a slight tick up, and that's why they continue to stretch their lead. Now almost a full length over Radcliffe. Gone through the first 3 minutes and 12 seconds as we cross toward 1,000 meters. Spartans won, black and white second, Eagles third. We hit the 1,000-meter split. Unofficial time at the 1,000-meter mark is now 3:33 for Michigan State. So on a 7:06 pace to the first 1,000. Into the darkness and quickly back out into the light for Michigan State as the Spartans have the lead. Radcliffe hanging around. No open water yet for the Spartans as Radcliffe is a length behind in second. And then Boston College makes its way through the bridge. Open water and maybe 3 lengths back to the Eagles in third. Looks like Radcliffe in the midst of a move again. They've gained a little bit of ground coming back to at least put some contact between the bow of the Radcliffe boat and the stern of the Michigan State boat. Now Michigan State surging back though. Spartans pick up their rate here and they've gained open water on Radcliffe. 2-team race. Boston College way back in third, about 4 lengths behind. 700 meters to go and the Spartans leading by open water. They came back from 3 seats down in the opening 200 meters to take this lead. Radcliffe coxswain Katie Felsheim staring straight ahead toward that Michigan State Spartan boat, so she has a good view to try and measure the effort back here for Radcliffe. They stay on about the same distance behind, just about a length with a tiny touch of open water between Michigan State and Radcliffe through 5 minutes and 20 seconds as we approach the 500 meters to go mark. See if Radcliffe has anything special left in the tank here for the final 500 meters. Michigan State looking for its first win of the day after Radcliffe took the V4B and the third varsity. Can hear the cadence and the conversation from the coxswains in both the Radcliffe boat and the Michigan State boat. Michigan State's coxswain for their varsity 4 is Megan Lindsay. She's sitting up and looking over her shoulder to try and gauge how far ahead Michigan State is of Radcliffe. It's about the same margin it's been for the last 500 meters. A length lead for Michigan State with Radcliffe in second, and now maybe 5 lengths back to Boston College. Unofficially at 6 minutes and 20 seconds on our timer with about 300 meters to go. Now, Radcliffe's done a nice job keeping the Michigan State lead at this margin for the last 1,000 meters, but haven't been able to gain any headway moving back up on the Spartans. Michigan State staying out in front by a length with Radcliffe in second. Only about 150 meters to go, so Radcliffe running out of time. Boston College back in third, about 6 lengths behind still. Maybe 10 strokes remaining. Michigan State holding off Radcliffe. Looks like the Spartans will get their first win of the day here at the Varsity 4 level. Varsity 4 boat comes to Boston and goes undefeated with wins yesterday and today. At the flag, Michigan State ahead of Radcliffe. The Spartans take the Varsity 4 race. They do it in an unofficial time of 7:31. with Radcliffe behind in 7:33. So about a 2-second margin for Michigan State. Here comes Boston College finishing things up in third. About 5 strokes left for the Eagles. Maybe 3 more to go. Right at the flag, BC comes across in 7:58. So the Eagles are home, about 25 seconds behind Michigan State and Radcliffe. So Michigan State takes varsity 4. Up next, second varsity. It's ahead on the Ivy League Digital Network.